Silicon Valley billionaires being red-pilled. Trump growing in their minds as they realize that they've been lied to. A little background. These very wealthy individuals who hold a tremendous amount of sway amongst their friends are demonstrating what the ability to admit that you were wrong looks like. This is what happens when you actually take the red pill and realize that you've been lied to non-stop. Background: Chamath Palihapitiya, billionaire, and Elizabeth Warren donor, big-time Democrat. The other, the blonde guy, Jason Calacanis, not yet a billionaire, still very wealthy, funny, a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome that you'll see in the following clip. We'll be back to discuss.
A lot of the good work. I mean, again, like, man, as a Democrat who has been left homeless, who is now definitely in the center, but probably leaning increasingly right, I'm left yet again with an appreciation, despite the messenger, of the message of the Trump administration, because what those guys did was pretty incredible in hindsight. These Abraham Accords, the accords with Israel and the GCC, the almost accord between Israel and Saudi, to really be able to like find a long-lasting peace is just a real example for the world. And you know, those guys did a lot of really good work. And
it's a miracle, actually, when you look at it. What they did, you know, despite the fact, listen, I'm no fan of Trump, and I am too homeless.
But this is where,
but can I say this? But if you want to objectively look at what they did, it was good work. It was great work.
You have to. And in fact, this is a moment where you have to start to re-underwrite, like, is your, not you, Jason, but I'm just saying collectively, is one's Trump derangement syndrome causing more damage than anything that Trump could have actually done? And I think the answer is yes, because like it's now causing us to not see that good work and then embrace and extend it. So much of the work that happened in that administration turns out to have been right. And that's what's so frustrating for me. The work on the border wall. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. Turned out it was right. Issuing long-term debt to refinance when rates were at zero. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. A structural peace in the Middle East. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. When are we going to stop shooting ourselves in the foot? And when are we going to actually see and take the time to look past who is saying things and actually listen to them word for word? I'll give you an example. I started to tweet 3 links a day over the past 3 days. And the only reason I did that was I thought things were so hyper contentious and hyper partisan that I just wanted to show a few sides, right? And one day I found a couple links, 2 of which, one was from Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL, who I thought had a very powerful message. And one was from Mike Flynn. And his message was also actually pretty powerful if you just read it. And if you took the names off, all the content was so valuable, both points of view. But the minute it goes into the world, people immediately judge and they kill the message because of the messenger. And this is exactly a moment where you have an opportunity to just stop doing that because the stakes are so high. It's infuriating, actually, quite honestly. It's infuriating to see it.
We had this last week on the show when we were talking about reducing spending. Matt Gaetz is not the perfect messenger, but his message was the message we've been talking about, which is, hey, we have to control spending. So I can understand people not liking Matt Gaetz. There's a lot of things to not like about him. I can understand people not liking Trump. And
get over it.
Well, and then, you know, it's bizarre that his son-in-law went to do all this work, but yet he did it and it had success.
That's another example.
It's weird if you send your son-in-law to do it, but I listened to the Lex Fridman podcast.
Okay, you know what? It's not weird because at the end, if you listen to this podcast, the most important thing that is resoundingly obvious about Jared Kushner is that he is incredibly thoughtful and incredibly competent. And why did we have to spend years being fed all of these stupid lies? Because one can judge for oneself, but Jared Kushner is thoughtful, he's smart. And I thought to myself, I was fed all these lies for years about how this guy was like moping around in the shadows and this and that, and it was all not true.
I believe that this is a demonstration of the cultural tides changing, as once again they realized that the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, the gospel that they used to believe in, preached by the high priests of Rachel Maddow and Arthur Sulzberger, the owner of the New York Times, they realize now that they've been lied to. And yes, the entire public was fed nothing but Trump derangement syndrome producing pills. That's why so many people hated him and they didn't know why. The fine people hoax, when allegedly he said that there were fine people on both sides in praise of the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists.
The man who responded to white supremacists who killed a young woman in Charlottesville by claiming there were, in his words, very fine people on both sides.
Really?
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
This is but one of numerous, many examples of the hoaxes pushed by the media with the intention of destroying his presidency. The same thing with the Hunter Biden laptop.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know
I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't know yes or no if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
And they had 51 former intelligence officials come out and say that it was Russian disinformation. And all of the networks went along with it, as did Facebook and Twitter.
The FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We just kind of thought.
Of course, he did pay for Biden's election win, paying $500 million in order to help ensure it. You have to wonder, after the realization that he got played, whether or not that's going to come into vogue again. But regardless, this is an individual who has woken up, who has swallowed the red pill, and it is now coursing through his system. Because what did Trump get wrong? You can not like the guy. I don't care. I care about results. I have a lawyer who answers me in at maximum 2 or 3 words on a text. I love it. It gets right to the point. You don't have to like the guy, but you want somebody that you want to have a beer with who destroys the nation, rather than somebody that can see things objectively, that can negotiate with others and do what is best for the United States. But you want to listen to the media that hates the fact that somebody from outside of their club, who they can't control, is in power. And thus, they lie to you because he's usurped the position that they desire. And how dare he come in from the outside and beat our woman, Hillary Clinton, the same woman that destroyed all those emails. And now people are gaining this realization, and this is going to spread to the rest of the public. As people of influence like Chamath have this realization in real time on camera, you can darn well bet that others are going to say, you know, all those doubts that I had percolating inside of my brain, maybe they're not wrong, because someone as smart and successful as Chamath said so. Unless something drastic happens, unless they're able to keep him off the ballot as they so desire to, Donald Trump is going to waltz into the White House. That's what's going to happen, and this is good for America and the power that the mainstream media has had by placing these lies in people's heads, by reducing people to their proposed personality that they're framing for you and telling you exactly how to see over their accomplishments, over their merit. This is peak wokeness right here. We are in the decline because people are realizing that they've been lied to over and over and over again. And this is going to start percolating through the public mind as leaders, as influencers begin this realization and publicize it. And the more of them that begin to do so, the more common it will be, and that will shift the mindset of the hive masses into realizing that they've been lied to. That's my prayer. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Peace.